At the highest levels of business, the difference between success and failure is not being talented, working hard, or having a high IQ. The difference is having a mind that works for you, not against you, even when under extreme pressure. Today's video is about the specific protocol I use to master my mind. It changed my whole career and is one of the best things that we teach our clients. So buckle up, because I promise that by the end of the video, you're going to have a radically altered perspective of how the mind works and, most importantly, how to leverage it to the max. Welcome back. My name is Castillo, founder of Selfmastered, 7-figure performance institute for entrepreneurs. We help entrepreneurs like you scale without procrastination, overwhelm, and burnout. And before we dive into the video, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out on any of the juicy videos that we put out every week. So today I want to talk about the mind. Have you ever thought what the mind is? Because this really doesn't get discussed, does it? So you see, the mind is like a tool you are born with, a tool that evolution shaped to help us navigate reality. But reality is neutral. Reality just is. Reality is there. Things happen. And we have a tool, the mind, that we use to give meaning to every experience. And that tool is programmed through two different mechanisms. One is the DNA, which gives us the natural proclivities our mind have from birth. And the other one is the conditioning that we go through our lives, the sum total of all experiences that we accumulate over our lifetime. Those two sides, the DNA, but also our experiences, so the nature and the nurture side of things, is what eventually shapes our mind. And every time you use that tool to navigate reality, every time you hit a stimulus, your mind literally fires thoughts at you. If you're going through an experience that you believe is positive, you have positive thoughts. If you are going through an experience that you believe to be negative, you experience negative thoughts. But those thoughts are automatic. You do not choose them. Even if I tell you to think about a pink elephant, you're going to think about a pink elephant, but a very specific cartoon, because there are not real pink elephants, is going to show up in your head. So the mind is a tool that is firing thoughts at you, but it is not you. You are the conscious observer of those thoughts. You are the awareness of that process, of the generation of thoughts. So when people like David Goggins say that the mind controls everything, it really is a little bit nuanced, because what controls everything is you, the self, through attention, through your careful curation of your attention. In other words, what you pay attention to, what thoughts you pay attention to, eventually drive the behavior that you engage in. The mind is this tool that you can control by understanding what needs your attention and what doesn't. And this is a core distinction between average and elite performers across all disciplines, because we all have automatic thoughts, but average entrepreneurs do not understand that they are not those thoughts. So they pay attention to every thought that pops into their mind. If thoughts are positive, cool, they have positive behavior. But if thoughts are negative, you guessed it, they end up deploying negative behavior. So every time that you're hit with a thought, and that happens pretty much every day, you have a choice of whether you should be paying attention to or not. And this is what elite performers do different. Every time they have a thought, an emotion that comes to them, they pause and they understand whether they should be paying attention to that thought or not. And this is the skill of mental mastery, is choosing the best possible reaction every single time. Now the question you may have is, but how do I know what is the best reaction? Should I just wish and be optimist and think positively and things will change? No, it is more nuanced than that. You should be paying attention to the most useful thoughts at every crossroad, and we gauge the usefulness of a thought for how fast it takes us to our vision. If you are in the middle of the savannah in Africa and you spot a lion, by all means pay attention to all of those negative thoughts that pop into their mind and get the f out of that place, because you are in serious danger. But if you are navigating through life and things don't go the way you want them to go, and you're suddenly hit with negativity and pessimism out of nowhere, you can choose to let those thoughts go, to remain unattached to those negatively charged thoughts, because they are not useful. They are not leading you towards a better future. Becoming good at this process is going to radically change your life, because at the root, every productivity, focus, discipline problem really is a mental mastery problem. Think about it. When you get distracted, it's because you conscientiously choose to pay attention to the thought or the behavior that drives that distraction. You commit to distraction by paying attention to it. If you train yourself to not pay attention to distractions, you do not get distracted. And this is a skill that you can train to really become very dangerous in life, because no one is more dangerous than those that can choose the best course of action every single time. Now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, how do I train this? Well, I'm going to be giving you the full protocol, but if you want proven help, book a call with us, because we're going to show you exactly how to do this within just a few short weeks. And in essence, how you do it, the two most fundamental practices for mental mastery is meditation on the one side and letting go on the other side. First, let's go with meditation. Meditation is the act of not doing anything, of sitting still in a room and training yourself to see your thoughts as something separate from you. It is the act of what I call finding the gap between the self and the mind, between awareness and the thoughts. Meditation helps you train your brain to dissociate from automatic thoughts and emotions that pop up in your head. It doesn't matter how much you meditate, the more you meditate, the better, but research says that about 10 to 12 minutes per day is already enough to start thickening your brain and improving your ability to discern between the self and the mind, between awareness and thoughts. So meditation is the first step towards mental mastery. The second step is letting go, which is the core fundamental practice of accepting every thought that comes to you, but then only paying attention to those that are actually useful. So every time you're hit with a thought or an emotion, you let it go, because it is not helping you move forward effectively. Over time, the better you become at identifying thoughts and gauging whether they're useful or not useful, and then letting go of those that are not useful, the better you will become at this skill of mental mastery. You'll become more mentally resilient. You will be able to recover from setbacks, to move faster, to think more clearly, and eliminate every focus, productivity, and procrastination problem, because at the root, they're all of them mental mastery problems. So I hope this was useful. This truly changed my life. Once I started getting good at this skill, I was able to conscientiously choose the best thought, emotion, and behavior at each step of the way. And if you want to have a deeper dive on how this works, click on this video. I'm going to show you exactly how to train this step by step. See you in the next video.